Welcome to the Employco HR Chat. I'm Rob Wilson, and with me is Jason Eisenhut. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this week. So, Jason, as we look at tariffs, there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace right now. You're seeing one day the market's up, the next it's down. You're seeing layoffs. Some companies still hiring, but a little bit of uncertainty in the market. So you've had some clients that we've talked to that are uncertain whether they want to lay some people off or
Furlough.
look at a furlough,
Right.
which brings us back to COVID days. During COVID, when we helped our clients lay off 7,000 people in 45 days or so, back in March of 2020, and a lot of them looked at furloughs. So I thought we'd do a little refresher on
That's a great idea.
furlough versus laying somebody off, because it has implications on your benefits side.
Yeah. So the furlough is generally an unpaid leave of absence.
Mhm.
And in those situations, if you're furloughing somebody, ideally it just makes it clear if it's in full week increments. Not that you have furlough for Thursday and Friday, please work for us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because then if it's an exempt employee, you get into some tricky territory in terms of paying for full week salary.
Right.
But generally, if you're furloughing a person for full weeks, it's an unpaid leave of absence, and generally they stay active on health insurance. Maybe they continue paying their portion of the health insurance, maybe they don't. With a furlough, you probably, if it's longer period, you could potentially become eligible for unemployment benefits. Whereas with a layoff, your employment has ended. You're officially going through a termination status. Health insurance is probably ended as of that day.
Right. So COBRA applies. So you've got to send, depending on your size, you got to
Good
send
point.
COBRA notice,
Right.
and the person can file for unemployment, but all your benefits, everything ends.
And also typically with a layoff as opposed to furlough, you're probably paying off unpaid leave or unpaid PTO or unused vacation.
Right. Yeah. You
Just like a normal.
You can't. It's just, if you terminate somebody or you're laying somebody off, any unused vacation time has to be paid.
Right.
Right.
And some states are a little bit more restrictive. Illinois is restrictive on how that looks in terms of vacation or PTO. Some states have mandated paid time off where you don't necessarily have to pay it off. But yeah, it's something that we help our clients with all the time,
Yeah.
differentiating those.
And on the furlough side, so if
Yep.
you're furloughing somebody and let's say you pay the employee only portion of healthcare, and the employee pays the difference, you have to think about, what are you going to do about? Are you going to collect that even though the person's not making any money, or are you going to pay it? So a lot of questions go in on the benefit side of furloughing, because you can't necessarily change. If you change what you do for them, or you change it for everybody else.
Right. Yep. And if you're an applicable large employer, which Obamacare or Affordable Care Act defines as 50 employees or more, then you have to make sure you're still offering it to your full-time employees, maybe even if they're on an unpaid leave of absence.
Mhm.
And if you're self-insured, you have to go through audits. Like, are you paying more for some employees' health insurance than others? So now you get into some non-discrimination testing problems, and it gets a little tricky.
Right. Yeah, so a lot of look at it both ways. If you're going through that situation, furlough versus a layoff, and we're here to help. If you have any questions, so you can reach Jason or myself at hr@employco.com. So it very much reminds me of the COVID days, back when we first ran into COVID, helping clients. We had so many clients that were laying thousands of people off.
So many unemployment claims. And luckily, this isn't as bad. I mean, even if we do, who knows if we'll go into a recession or not. But if we do, it probably won't be nearly as bad as the COVID days.
At the same time, we have had a lot of clients that are growing
Yeah.
and hiring people. So it's kind of an interesting time in the marketplace, but good to be prepared depending on what your business, if your challenges you might have.
Yeah. We'd love to help.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.